Try it right now. Wiggle your fingers against your own ribs, the exact spot where someone else could reduce you to helpless slaughter in seconds. Go on. Nothing. A dull, mechanical sensation. Faintly annoying. Completely unfunny. Now, imagine someone else doing the very same motion in the very same spot. You already flinched, didn't you? Just picturing it. Some fingers, some ribs, some nerves, and yet one version is torture and the other is nothing at all. Most people assume this is trivial, a silly quirk of the body, the kind of thing you notice as a child and never think about again. But the real answer is far stranger, because the reason you cannot tickle yourself is a window into one of the most powerful and secret systems your brain runs every waking second. A system so important that when it fails, you may lose your grip on reality itself. To understand it, you have to understand a problem your brain is quietly solving all the time, a problem you have never once noticed. Your brain is flooded constantly with sensation. The feeling of your clothes on your skin, the pressure of the floor against your feet, the movement of your own tongue in your mouth. If your brain paid full attention to every one of these signals, you would be overwhelmed within seconds. You would drown in the noise of your own body. So your brain does something ingenious. It predicts before you move, before you even act. Your brain generates a forecast of what that action will feel like. And then, when the real sensation arrives, it compares the two. If the prediction matches reality, the brain does something remarkable. It tunes the sensation down, it mutes it, it decides, this was me, I did this, nothing to see here. This is called sensory attenuation, and it is happening to you right now on every level, in every moment. It is the reason you do not feel your own heartbeat pounding in your ears all day. It is the reason your own voice does not sound deafening from the inside. It is the reason you can hold your own hand without it feeling strange. Your brain is constantly subtracting you from your own experience so that the world outside can stand out clearly. Now, here is where tickling comes in. Neuroscientists at University College London, led by Sarah-Jayne Blakemore, built a clever machine to test this. It was a device with a robotic arm that could tickle a person's palm. In one setup, the person moved a lever that controlled the arm themselves. In another, the machine did it on its own. Same touch, same soft foam on the same palm. But when people tickled themselves through the machine, they barely felt it. When the machine did it, unpredictably, they felt it far more intensely. Then, the researchers did something even clever. They introduced a delay. When they added a gap between the person's movement and the tickle, or when they rotated the direction slightly, so the prediction no longer matched the sensation. The ticklishness came flooding back. The closer the touch was to what the brain expected, the less it was felt. The more it deviated, the more real it became. This is the whole secret. Tickling is not really about the touch, it is about surprise. Your brain cannot surprise itself. When you reach for your own ribs, your brain has already sent out the forecast, already knows exactly where your fingers will land, already moved the result before it happens. There is no gap between prediction and reality for the sensation to slip through, but when someone else reaches for you, your brain has no forecast. The touch is unpredictable. It arrives raw and full volume, and your nervous system lights up like an alarm. But this raises a much deeper question. Why would evaluation build a body that loves and squirms and panics at a light touch it cannot predict? Why is tickling tied to something as strange as louder? The leading idea is that ticklishness is a defense system. Notice where you are most ticklish: the ribs protecting the vital organs, the neck where the arteries run close to the surface, the soles of the feet, the armpits, the inner thighs, all the soft, vulnerable, poorly protected places on your body. They're exactly the spots a predator would strike, or an enemy would grab. Your ticklish zones are a map of your weaknesses. So, one theory holds that ticklishness evolved as a hypersensitive early warning system, an alarm wired to your most defenseless places, screaming, something is touching your hair, react. The reflexive flinch that whisked away the sudden protective hunch. These are the moments of a body trying to shield itself. You are not allowing because it is funny. You are executing an ancient defensive maneuver. And the latter, the strangest part of all, may be social. Think about who can tickle you, not a stranger on the street. If a stranger grabbed your ribs, you would not laugh, you would fight. Tickling only produces slaughter when it comes from someone you trust, a parent, a sibling, a lover, a close friend. The laughter is a signal. It says, this is play, not danger. This is safe. We are bounded. Charles Darwin himself puzzled over this. He noticed that for tickling to produce laughter, the touch must be unexpected, and then person must be in a light, trusting state of mind. Tickle a tense, frightened person, and they do not laugh at all. The same sensation in the context of treat becomes horrible. This is why tickling can flip so fast from delightful to unbearable. It sits right on the border between play and panic, and that border is exactly where the bonding happens. Rats do it too. When scientists tickled young rats, they produced ultrasonic crisps, a sound researchers believe it's something close to laughter, and the rats come back for more, bonding with the hand that tickled them. Side tickling is a strange, ancient game your body plays, a rehearsal of defense wrapped in the safety of trust. But now we come back to that quiet machine underneath it all, the prediction system, and here is where it stops being a party trick and starts being profound. That same system, the one that mutes your own touch, is running on everything you do all the time. Every time you move, your brain predicts the consequences. This is how you know that it is you're moving your own arm and not same external force. This is how you feel the difference between the world acting on you and you acting on the world. It is the foundation of your sense of agency, the deep, unspoken certainty that you are the author of your own actions. And now consider what happens when this system breaks. Researchers have found something haunting. People with schizophrenia are often able to tickle themselves. Their sensory attenuation is impaired. The prediction that should mute their own touch does not fire correctly, and so their own movements feel as though they came from somewhere else, and this may be connected to one of the most distressing symptoms of the condition, the feeling that one's own thoughts and actions are being controlled by an outside force. When the brain can no longer tag your own actions as your own, the boundary between self and world begins to dissolve. Your inner voice can start to feel like someone else. Your own moments can feel imposed upon you. Let that settle. The very same teeny mechanism that stops you from tickling yourself is part of what holds together your entire sense of being a self. It is the invisible signature your brain stamps on every action, saying, this one is mine. Without it, the balls of the self grow thin. So the next time a friend reaches for your ribs and you collapse into helpless slaughter, understand what is really happening. Your brain has failed on purpose to predict a touch. An ancient alarm on your most vulnerable places has fired. A defensive reflex millions of years old has kicked in, and your laughter is a message sent to someone you trust that says, I am safe with you. This is only play. And when you try to tickle yourself and feel nothing, that nothing is not empty. That nothing is the sound of your brain doing the most important thing it ever does, quietly, flawlessly, 1,000 times a second, drawing the line between you and everything else, keeping you whole, keeping you here, keeping you unmistakably yourself. You cannot tickle yourself. And that, it turns out, is one of the small miracles that lets you know you are you.